good and the ugly. We're going to talk about responding to good reviews, responding to bad reviews, and I'm going to show you guys a couple examples. And at the end, I want to open the floor up a little bit so you guys can share some of your experiences. We can share with the room, different strategies that you guys are using, and we can have a little bit of an open discussion at the end. So let's get started. Why is your online reputation important? First, it affects the purchasing decisions of your potential customers. Every time a customer searches, it's 92%, almost every time, 92% of the time when a customer searches a new product or service online, they are looking at those online reviews. So that's why it's very important that we have a good solid online presence and completely managing your online reputation. It also affects how your business shows up on the search engines. And we'll talk a little bit about that next. And it also affects the click-through rates of the search results. And when I say click-through rates, it's basically when a customer sees your ad online, they'll see those 4-star reviews next to the listing that shows up. And if you have a 4 or 5-star review, that can be the difference between a customer clicking through and learning more about your business or completely scrolling down to the next listing on the search engine and going to someone else. Couple little fun facts here. So 92% of customers actually do read online reviews. 94% of customers will use a business with a 4-star rating. Totally makes sense. If you pull up, if you're looking for a product or service on the search engine and you see a business with a 1-star rating, are you even going to give it the time of day when there's another business right next to it when it has a 4 or 5-star rating? More than likely not. Again, star rating is the #1 factor used by consumers to judge a business. And 95% of consumers suspect censorship when they don't see any bad review scores. So one of the things that when I talk to business owners about building their online reputation, they go in panic mode. They panic when they see these negative online reviews. And it's important to take a step back and look at it from a more holistic view from the customer. If you go and look up reviews from a business and they have 300 5-star reviews, you might suspect something is fishy, whether they're legitimate or not. If you do have a negative online review, it's not a bad thing. Customers understand. The reasonable customer will understand that if you're in a service industry, you're not going to please everybody, and more than likely you're going to have a 1-star review here and there. It's something to monitor, though. It's not something to be taken lightly, but when you get a negative review here and there, there's ways that we can do to properly manage that. And 88% of online shoppers make their purchasing decisions based off of online reviews. As a millennial, I always read online reviews. Before I make any kind of purchase a new product, purchase a new service, I always go online and I always refer to those online reviews. And that's just to drive home that point one more time. That's why it's important that's why we're all sitting here today, to learn a little bit more about that. So how do reviews affect SEO? I could do a whole separate presentation on this, trust me, but we're going to take about 10 or 15 minutes just to give you guys an overall explanation on how it can affect the way you show up on the search engine. So 63% of the time, the local 3-pack contains the listing with the most reviews. The local 3-pack is when you search for a local product or service on Google. Local 3-pack is those top 3 reviews that show up right under that map listing. So I know this is a little hard for some of you to see, and I apologize for that, but what I did is I actually searched best pizza in Pittsburgh, and to no surprise, Fiore's is on one of the top listings is in the 3-pack. And as you can see, well, you probably can't see, but I'm going to tell you, is that the number of reviews that they do have is 262 reviews. And what we can do to support this statistic here, we'll go to more places. And then as you can see, the next 4 listings down underneath Fiore's don't have anywhere near the amount of reviews that they do. So it's only this study was based off of another digital marketing consultant, and what he did is he manually went through and searched for these he manually searched for 22,000 local business listings and came up with this statistic. So reviews aren't a magic bullet in SEO for getting you to show up to the top, but it certainly plays a huge part in making sure that you show up at the top of the search engines. 90% of people that search for something online, they don't even go past the first page. So let alone scroll to the bottom of the page. So that is just one reason why it's extremely important that we pay good attention to reviews and get a good quantity of reviews coming in. Another example I pulled up here is the best sandwich in Pittsburgh. To no surprise, we have Permane Brothers at the top, but they also have 738 reviews. The next 4 listings underneath, they don't come anywhere near as close to Permane's. Again, just another example to show you how the quantity of reviews can affect how you show up on the top of the search engines in the local 3-pack. So this chart I pulled from Moz, and as an SEO specialist, we live and breathe by Moz. They're like our Bible. So anything that they tell, they are an excellent resource that we always refer to online as far as keeping up with the latest SEO news and updates and things that are happening on Google. So I pulled this chart from Moz, and according to this chart, 10% of your search ranking is actually based on reviews. That's huge. Like I said, it's not a magic bullet, but the fact that 10% of Google's algorithms are essentially having an effect on how you show up online. So moving on to the next topic, we are going to talk a little bit about developing a review acquisition strategy. I did a little research on my end, and I found that these are the top review platforms that you should be getting reviews on for your business. And it will vary on what kind of business that you're actually in your industry, but these are the top 6 that I came up with. And I actually added Facebook on the bottom too. And Facebook's very important to get reviews on because everyone has a Facebook account. It's so easy for someone to log into Facebook and give you a review on your business's Facebook account. So I feel like every business, no matter what industry you're in, you should be getting reviews through Facebook. So one of the first things that I would do when you start developing your review acquisition strategy is identify which review platforms are most beneficial and relevant to your business. So what I did is I do a keyword search, depending on what kind of industry you're in. So if you're a contractor, what you can do is go to Google and type in contractor reviews. And what this will do is it will actually pull up a list of some of the review sites that are commonly used by contractors to get reviews from their customers. So if you're a contractor, just an example here, we have Angie's List, House, Home Advisor, the Better Business Bureau. These are a couple examples on that if you're a contractor, then these are some review platforms that you should be using. Did another search for if you're a plumber, type in plumber reviews, and again, one of the top review platforms that I have, actually starting from the bottom, is Yelp. A little different from typing in contractor reviews, but Yelp's a big one. Again, we have Home Advisor, and we're also going to want Angie's List on there as well. And just one more example, I feel like I'm talking too close to the mic here, sorry about that. But one more example, if you're a restaurant or if you're in the food service industry, just simply type in restaurant reviews, and what you'll see is a little bit different than contractors and plumbing. We're actually pulling up TripAdvisor, well, Yelp too, but TripAdvisor and Yelp are probably one of the top 2 that you'd want to focus on getting reviews for. So next on the list, after we decide, the platforms that we want to get these reviews on, what we want to do and what I have found to be most successful when working with local businesses is actually conduct training on what you want to do as a business owner and what you want someone to do in your business to get these reviews. So champion someone in your business to lead the review acquisition effort. And the strategy that a lot of my clients use is they will use somebody who does the most customer facing. So an administrative assistant, a field representative, field sales. It can vary, but have this person lead your review acquisition effort. And it's just as simple as anytime if you're a contractor, if you finish a retaining wall for somebody and you can tell that person's hyped up over the work that you've done, you close a sale, they wrote the check for you, you have the money in hand, just drop that line, just say, hey, if you're happy with the work that we've done for you, can you leave us a review online? It's as simple as just having a cell phone or a mobile tablet or something with you, and have it already pulled up. Have the review site already pulled up where you want that customer to leave a review, and just have them fill it out for you while you're writing the invoice or something, or whatever the closing part you need to do on your end is. But just as businesses, no two review strategies are the same. It's all going to vary on how you close your sales, what you do to, how often you face customers. There's so many different strategies that we can use, and that's why it's important to really consult with somebody about, developing this review strategy. So after you've developed your review strategy, you've been getting reviews, now what? You need to reply. You should be replying to every review. Not only should you be replying to the negative reviews, but you should also be replying to the positive reviews as well. Because look at it like this. When you reply to a review, you're not just replying to that person, you're replying to the entire internet. Anyone who's going to go online and research your business, they're going to see how you treat your customers before they even have any contact with you. So that's why it's important that we come up with a proper review response strategy as well. So we're going to talk about the good first. Maximize the effectiveness of a positive review. One of the very first things that you should implement in your response to that positive review is just thank the customer. Thank you for leaving us a review. The pumpkin cinnamon caffeinato berry espresso really is a delectable nitro beverage. This is a 4-step process too, by the way, in responding to positive reviews. So the second step of the process is use your business name and keywords in the response for SEO. When you respond to a review, this will actually, if you do this properly, this will actually help your review help your business and the reviews for those business show up on Google as well. So how we can do this is the team I just made this up, by the way, Fancy Pants Coffee. So the team at Fancy Pants Coffee Shop is ecstatic to receive such excellent feedback. We take great pride in being the best coffee shop in Mount Lebanon. So what I did here is I included the name of the business in the review and then your keyword at the bottom, coffee shop in Mount Lebanon. So if you live in Mount Lebanon or if you're new to the area and you go on Google and you want to type in, you go on Google and you want to find the nearest coffee shop, chances are you'll probably type in coffee shop in Mount Lebanon. There's a good chance that if you implement this strategy that your business will show up. Third step of the process, very simple, add a little marketing to your response. If you're doing any kind of specials, if you're releasing any kind of different products or services coming up in the future, this is a good opportunity to drop that line in that review. Like I said, you're not just responding to that person, you're responding to the whole internet and anyone who's going to read those reviews. So just drop a line. Did you know we release new beverages every Friday? It could be something as simple as that. Fourth step of the process, basic marketing 101, implement a call to action in that review response. Next time you need a break from the office, bring your colleagues in to take advantage of the group deals. We can't wait to see you again. So your overall review, and I know it looks long, but trust me, once you get this down, it can be extremely, extremely effective. Not only for your SEO, but driving more traffic to your site, and ultimately affecting your bottom line. So your overall review should look like this. Thank you for leaving us a review. The triple pumpkin cinnamon caffeinato berry espresso really is a delectable nitro beverage. The team at Fancy Pants Coffee Shop is ecstatic to receive such excellent feedback. We take great pride in being the best coffee shop in Mount Lebanon. Did you know we offer new beverages every Friday? Next time you need a break from the office, bring your colleagues to take advantage of the group deals. We can't wait to see you again. That's that is, I'll tell you what, if I saw that, if I was looking for a business online and if I actually saw that a business took this much time to respond just to a positive review, which I'll tell you what, I had a hard time finding examples of businesses that actually did that. But if I saw that, I would think that this is a business that I want to work with. So we talked about positive reviews. Last part is I want to go a little bit into negative reviews. So make that negative review go away. I hear this all the time when I talk to my clients. I have a negative review. I disagree with it. I'm upset. I can't believe this person would write something like this. Make that go away. There's a couple things that we can and can't do. First, what we can't do is we can't make that review go away. But what we can do is articulate a great response, a short and sweet response that will address the consumer's problems and put it in their hands to reach out to you to correct it without over-promising, without under-promising, without shifting blame. A very short, sweet, simple, neutral message, no matter how wrong you think that customer is. And I'll show a couple examples for you on that. But I always like to start with the good. So this is a company that I make a lot of purchases from, Newegg.com, and I feel that they have a real internal review system. It's not so much like Google or Facebook, but the manufacturers that distribute on Newegg actually have a great system in place that I really think they do a good job responding to negative customer feedback. So what I have here, and again, I apologize if this is really hard for some of you to read, but what I do have here is this person was unhappy with the product. Basically, this person's unhappy with the product he received from the manufacturer. So the manufacturer response, short and sweet and simple. Dear valued customer, I'm sorry to hear about the troubles you are having with your EVGA GTX 1080 graphics card. I'm a nerd, I know. I can assure you that we are here to assist and support you as best as we can. If you haven't already done so, then I would encourage you to contact our 24-hour customer technical support team by phone at 1-888-881-3842 and pressing option 1, and then it continues to give the customer an option to reach out to a customer service rep and correct that issue. This is the way you should be responding to a negative review. And I'll show you a couple examples of a little bit of over-promising and completely shifting blame. So here's one that's okay. So basically, this person had a couple problems with the service that they received. So this guy, he took, and I have to commend him, I really do. He took a really personalized approach to this customer, but I do feel that he overpromised a lot too, and it showed in some of the follow-up replies. But what he did was, sorry to hear that we dropped the ball. I'm not sure what happened with regards to not notifying you ahead of the service, but I will make sure that we look into it right away. As far as the service, we will stand behind our service, and if you're having an issue, we will come out free of charge to correct the issue. Needless to say, it sounds like you're doing additional service at no cost, and I would like to make sure we get your problem completely resolved. I will have my office manager contact you first thing tomorrow after the holiday to get an appointment scheduled. As far as the issues you experienced, I will be going back to address this with all of my phone representatives and reassuring a customer-first attitude. Again, I am sorry for this and will work very hard to change your impression of us. Like I said, he did a great job. You can tell he's passionate about making, doing the right thing for this customer. But I feel like there's a lot of overpromising in this response, and as business owners, I mean, let's face it, you guys get really busy. So you have to be careful. That's why it's always best to just keep it short and sweet. Give a phone number, put it in the customer's hands to reach back out to you instead of just making so many promises. Like I said, though, he did a good job, and you can tell that he was passionate about making it right for his customer. Now, this is one that I actually just blanked out all the names because this is one that you definitely should. This is how you should definitely not respond to an online review. This person was extremely unhappy with the service provided from this person. So his response to this this person, and you can tell he was very heated when he wrote this response to the negative review. I am sorry that you feel that you had a bad experience. Right off the bat, we're just saying, I know I did a good job. I'm sorry if it wasn't good, it wasn't good enough for you. That's not my problem. And that's the way I read that. Our only other location was Robinson, which was open for a year. You get 1 year of free in-store support with any computer purchase. After that, you need remote support. It does cost $200 a year for a remote support plan that includes coverage of up to 3 PCs. We do not provide free remote support. I don't know, as a customer, that sounds kind of condescending to me. It sounds like you had an issue but did not want to bring the PC in. We cannot diagnose issues over the phone. Again, it kind of comes across to me as a little condescending. I'm sorry if the response to you was, we do not provide free service or we are too busy to do that. I will apologize for that and will handle directly with whatever employee was involved. And as always, we provide support. That is never an issue. It almost sounds like this guy is arguing with the customer that was unhappy. Instead of just keeping it short and sweet, putting the next plan of action in the customer's, putting the next step of action in the customer's hands and having them reach out to him over the phone and correct the issue, not in a public forum. So, I want to open up the floor a little bit here to if anyone has any questions for me or if anyone wants to share any experiences that they may have had when dealing with negative reviews online or, yes?
Well, it's in different circumstances that there was a person that was laid off and her husband felt the need to go onto our Facebook and give us didn't leave any information or say why he was giving us a one review, but there's a one review now. So how do you even handle something like that, or you just ignore it? I mean, this just happened.
So there's no explanation at all?
No, it's just
Okay.
We know that's her husband, and
Yeah.
he didn't like the fact that she was laid off. I mean, things like that can happen, but how do you even respond to something like that?
Sure, that's a tricky question. Maybe, sure, yeah.
One of the ways you can handle the ones that are outside the norm, that deal with religion or the racist or any type of those bad language, that type of thing. Every one of your people who have reviews, they have a system you can call, you can go through it with them, and you can try to get it removed. I know that we have links to all of those places that Facebook actually has, so that you can go and say, how do I get a Facebook review removed? That type of one where there's no statements, there's nothing in there, just a bad review, I'm sure they'll take that off. But you have to contact them and go after them as the business, go after Facebook and that type
To
of
go
thing.
through Facebook?
Yes, and you can get them removed that way. That's the only way you can really get them.
Ex-employees, they'll take them off every time.
Yeah, it's not fair for them to do something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I had a similar situation too, and I actually messaged the person and said, why did you choose to approach me this way? Like, maybe we can work it out in a different scenario. Like, is there another solution that might make you happy? Do you want to talk about it? And then I gave them my phone number, and they actually called me, and after they got it all out, then they took it down themselves. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know if it's possible, who knows who this guy is, but.
Well, like I said, his wife was the employee,
Right.
so
Yeah,
she
he
didn't do
just
it,
did it
he
to be
did.
like he
So,
did.
yeah.
But maybe asking him, is there another way he could get this off his chest? Or,
Yeah.
I don't know. It worked in this one instance.
Like, if it's friends and family of a competitor or an ex-employee, they'll take it down
Yeah.
on most sites. Now, if, let's say that you had a wedding and the wedding was messed up and you were the wife of the bride and they write a review about your service, they're not gonna get rid of that because they're like, well, you were affiliated with this bad experience. And so, they're not gonna get rid of that. But if you can be like, this person here works for this company and it's not a real review of my service, they'll take it down.
But
Or
how
if
do
they
you
swear.
prove that though? That's the thing, you could just say whatever, and it's like, how do you prove that where they say, oh, okay, since it's that, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe they just take you at your word.
Yeah. 'Cause I mean, anybody could use that excuse, I guess, if they want to get a #1 review off of there.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, in the end, it's, even if there's no explanation there, it's good to respond and
Yep.
say, hey, you know, you can call us at this number and we'd be happy to resolve any problems you have.
Yeah.
Just so the outside people, it looks like you were at least trying to
Right.
Yep.
resolve.
and
whatever
that's
problem.
a good point.
Yeah.
Do something like that.
Exactly. Even, just kind of piggyback off what you said, Alex. Even if you know it's not fair or not right that person would write or say anything about you, that's between you and that person, but the rest of the internet can see that interaction. So, and they're going to make a judgment on how you handle that interaction. So, I would just do like what we just talked about, leave a nice, simple response, put it in their hands to reach out to you, whether they do or not. Hopefully they do.
And
Hopefully
you
they
just
reach out
want
to you, yeah.
Say why, I know
Yeah,
you put this
exactly.
on there, because then it just.
Yeah, it's tricky waters to tread, but I wouldn't even go there. I wouldn't make it, like I said, don't make it personal. Just leave a nice, short and sweet response. Put it in their hands to reach out to you and resolve it over the phone. Yes.
The other thing, folks who are looking at reviews, we got to give them a little bit of credit too. So if someone's really upset and they leave a 1-star review, but they don't leave any explanation, I know, looking at restaurants or whatever the company is, I almost think that they have a personal vendetta against that company,
yeah.
as opposed to saying, oh, I had a bad experience with them.
Right, why wouldn't you say why you're giving it a 1
Exactly.
star? Yeah. I
Or
mean, I
two,
have-
or
Right.
whatever it is. So I think
Right.
that's also part of the consumer's responsibility.
Right,
So
of course.
A little bit more smart with that stuff too.
How much effect does a star have without a response for SEOs? Is it as much as the one with a review or one?
So
or
if you just
different
have-
percentage, like moving you up or moving you down?
So if you just have, are you asking if you just have like 1-star review?
Let's say you did get that 1-star review, but
Yep.
they didn't respond. Is that gonna affect you as much as if someone did respond for your SEOs? or-
Well, it brought everything down.
It brought
That
Yeah.
one, yeah, it
Well,
brought it
so
all
it
down.
does it have as much weight though without any words?
So no, it would not. If there's no words in that response, technically no, that response wouldn't have any SEO value. But that's not to say that the other reviews within that forum don't have SEO value. So if someone brings up one of those reviews through a Google search, chances are they're still going to see that other 1-star review.
But it's not gonna change you, well, a 1-star might change you compared to all 5s, but
Right.
say you had
Right.
all 5s and you got 4, but no one responded.
That's okay. I mean, if you,
It's okay, but-
yeah,
But in the whole scheme of things, it's not as heavily weighted as someone who would respond,
correct. Yes.
That's good to know.
We have we work together, we have a barber store, and we have an interesting situation where we have really great reviews, but we don't show up really well on the listings. And we'll have stores other shops that have lower reviews, like 3.5
Yep.
rating, they'll be above us.
Right. So, like I said, your overall SEO strategy reviews only have a 10% effect on that. So what I would suggest is actually taking a good look at your SEO strategy, and I can actually talk to you a little bit about that, offline downstairs. I'm actually at a booth at one of the higher images booth at the business show downstairs. And we can talk a little more in depth about that, what your overall SEO strategy looks like if you even have one. So, and it sounds like you might not.
Well, we have
So-
something, but I don't know what it's called.
Yeah. Well, we can take a look at that.
We sell dresses, not.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any other questions? I'm sorry, I thought I saw your hand up.
I know, because you said the offline, but Hayden hasn't said that the offline, and I have a situation, and I think it's still maybe there, I'm not sure, I haven't checked it recently, where someone had me on Angie's list, but it wasn't they described my business, it wasn't really my business, but it had my name. And so I really wasn't, and I tried to use Angie's list, but it was hard getting the username. Because I believe it didn't describe my business, so who was this information?
On Angie's list.
Correct it. It didn't describe my business at all.
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have a answer for that off the top of my head.
What was the question, Brent?
They had
Yeah, so it would have to do,
To me, that's a real good one to contact the Better Business Bureau.
Yeah.
And go through the process of getting it removed by them. Like I said earlier, they will take the ones that are definitely, excuse me, not legit. But in that case, I would call them, go over with them, ask them about the review, explain to them, this isn't even what our business does. Explain everything to them. They do understand that people will do that. That there's people out there.
Right.
And I will make one other point. There's also people out there, no matter what you do, they will not be satisfied.
Oh, yeah.
And when you run into those, the best thing to do is, like Brandon said earlier, just do a short response and leave it. And if they come back with another one, okay, you put that duct tape over your mouth and don't bother to say another word in those cases, okay? Did that answer your question, ma'am?
Yes, thank you.
thanks, Greg. Does anyone else have any other questions for me today? Yes?
That local 3-pack that you were talking about.
Yes.
with Google, is that the reviews for that just based off of like the Google reviews, or do Google generate those reviews?
So it was showing, it was based off of the Google reviews, but some review platforms can show up on your Google, and I don't have the internet to show you up here, but do you know when you do Google search for local business, maybe even search for your business online, on the right-hand side you have your Google My Business listing. So some of your other, like from Facebook, I know off the top of my head, I think Yellow Pages, I know off the top of my head, those reviews will actually show up on little icons along the bottom of that business listing. But I think what we were looking at here was just the reviews through Google. So someone logging in with their Gmail account and leaving a review specifically through Google. Anybody else? Well, if no one else has any other questions, that concludes my session today. Yes?
The time's not up yet, right? Okay, so I have a question.
Of course.
If you can speak on this here, what, I mean, 10% is determined by reviews. What else determines your ranking in the search engine?
Sure, let's take a step back here and look at that Moz chart.
10%, 10% is determined by the reviews. And then what else determines the ranking?
So here's that chart that I pulled up on Moz. A lot of other things that determine your ranking are keywords, specifically keywords on the pages, title tags and metadata. Let me see if I can pull it up. So your title tags and meta descriptions, we can actually do these as well. It's the very first, it's like an advertisement on the search engine for your business. It's something that, I can tell you I spend half of my days writing these for my clients. But, so this is your title tag, this is your meta description right here. Basically, it's just a quick little advertisement for your business on the search engine to get people to go through to your site. That plays a big effect on it. The presence of NAP, so the name of your business, address and phone number of your business, that will determine, people are doing like local searches. If you're looking for, like we did before, pizza shop in Pittsburgh, coffee shops in Mount Lebanon, things like that. Link signals, so how many inbound links that you have, like how many links are out there on the web that actually link back to your site, backlinking. That plays a big effect on it as well. Also, and I preach this all day long, is content, making sure that we're keeping valuable content on your website at all times, and keeping it updated, and keeping a nice steady stream of fresh content on your website. Google, judges this heavily. So, and it has to be relevant to your business too. If you're a refrigerator business, do articles around, what's the best temperature to keep my filet mignon in the fridge or something like that. We can do articles around that. Because that might be a question that people search up on Google. And if you do an article around something that you think people are searching for, there's a good chance your site might show up. So, does that answer your question?
Yes, and the number of hits you get, right?
I'm sorry?
The number of hits you get?
Yeah, so it can affect the more you show up on Google, the more bigger chance you have of people actually clicking through to your site and driving more traffic to your site. Yes, so the number of hits on your site. Addition from the SEO team.
What would be the number one piece of advice that you could give to somebody who is concerned about their reviews online?
The number one piece of advice. If you're concerned about your reviews online, like we went over, definitely respond. Respond to those reviews. It's essentially an online version of damage control. And if you're really struggling with it right now, and if it's something that you maybe don't want to talk about in front of people in the room, I will be downstairs in the business show and we can talk about this, in person and, really deep dive into what's going on with your reviews.
I have a problem with Google Maps, like not taking customers to my location accurately. So how do you fix that? I mean, I put a big notification on my website saying, like, don't use Google Maps because it will take you to the wrong place.
So is the address is wrong then?
No, the address is correct.
Okay.
It's 2 turns before the right turn that it says to go the wrong direction. So people are lost a lot. And they call me and I say, oh, it's not a left on Frankstown, it's a right. And they say, oh, I'll turn around. But I've called, I've sent emails, I have this huge thing on my website about it, but can you, and they said the problem is that I list my location as Pittsburgh, and it should truly be Penn Hills, but my mailing address is Pittsburgh, so like all my stationery and all my bills and all my business registry is all Pittsburgh, but the township is actually Penn Hills.
Probably how 911 has you listed.
Okay, so maybe 911 could fix it?
Oh, well, I don't know, but that's probably a
The
lot.
address was
Well-
there before Google.
Yeah.
Come to our booth.
Yeah.
Downstairs?
Yeah, it's-
Because it's,
Yeah.
it's a
It's-
weird conundrum. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like-
it's hard to visualize. It's hard to visualize without actually sitting down and like deep diving and really looking into what's going on.
The answer is your community is whatever Google tells you your community is.
Yep.
And you just have to make it that.
Yes.
I apologize, you may have covered this, I came in a little bit.
Oh no, you're fine.
My question is, what if I don't have any reviews? And I'm a fairly established, I'm small, but I'm a fairly established business. We've been online for 15 years. And we have a Facebook page, we get some reviews there, but we don't have reviews anywhere else.
Right.
I'd like to have reviews, I'd like to have, of course, positive reviews. But are there places where we can generate reviews or get in some of these different places that list reviews? And how do we go about doing that, getting reviews in general?
Of course, and it all boils down to how you run your business. Like we went over a little earlier in the presentation, that no 2 review strategies are going to be the same. I could probably talk up here for the next 10 hours over different review strategies that people are doing. So it's about really sitting down with you and deep diving into what the customer experience looks like from the top of the funnel all the way down to the end, and figuring out where the best place within that funnel is to extract that review from the customer. What I have been finding is that when the customer's already through that funnel, already through that sales funnel, after you completed the work for them, and they're still like really hyped up about the work that you did or the product or service that you sold them, that's probably the best time right then and there to get that review. It can be just as simple as having a tablet ready with you and having Facebook or Google or Yelp already pulled up on the tablet for you, and just saying, hey, while I'm writing your invoice for you, or while I'm checking you out, while I'm getting the last couple things ready here before I let you go, if you're happy with how this looks, can you just write me a review? And by the time you're done, I'll...
Or exclusively, it's
Sure.
strictly an online service.
Okay.
And at the conclusion, they complete an evaluation. That does often include, we ask for feedback in that, but it's within our system. So it's not going to be on Google. It's not going to be to the eyes of a student. Only us can see it. We're like an online training company, is what we do. So we get reviews we get evaluations, but they're not available to the public. How do we get them to say, I love the Child Care Lounge, somewhere where other potential clients can see it, rather than with our own eyes? And like I said, we're exclusively online, so I don't
Okay.
have that ability to
Do you
say
have
one
email,
person.
do you have most of your clients' email addresses
Yeah.
and stuff like that? So
Yeah.
what you do is put an email campaign together and actually give them links to where your reviews can be done at, things like that can be done.
Okay.
Um,
So are there certain places where I can say go to Yellow Pages, go to some, like Yelp or something?
Yes, ma'am.
Here's,
And we can definitely talk about those in depth. Yelp, we should have your business out there.
Okay.
Yeah, Yelp, Facebook, all of them, Google, the whole works.
the thing is, you want to make it as easy on the customer as possible, because you're essentially asking them for free time, and we're all strapped for time. So the easier you make it for your customer to leave that review, the better success rate you'll have. But if you just send out an email saying like, hey, go to Yelp and leave us a review, I can bet you 99.9999% of the time they're not going to go. Have that. What I would do is have a link direct. If you send an email, have a link directly to your review page on Yelp or Facebook or wherever, and have it already set up for them. Make it as easy for them as possible to just go ahead and leave that review. Yeah, but I mean, like I said, I'll be downstairs and we can talk more in depth. So, anybody else have any questions? Yes.
First off, thanks, Brandon. This was awesome.
No problem. Thanks for coming.
We also manage online reputations for a couple businesses that are around Pittsburgh. Specifically, like, we do a couple restaurants and breweries. So the amount of reviews are very high. And on Yelp, obviously, if you're going on Yelp, you're leaving a much different review. You're describing everything and
Sure.
a bit more about your experience. However, on Facebook, you could just leave a 5-star review and be done with it. It seems to be the trend anyway. If you're that company or you're managing that company's reputation, would you suggest reaching out and saying, hey, thanks for stopping by, like, what did you have? Or I hope that you and your party enjoyed your time. Like, try to engage some type of conversation. Like, what would you recommend for that when people don't leave any type of comment? Is it even worth trying to get into a very quick dialogue with them?
You know, I don't have any restaurants or breweries or anything like that, but in a situation like that, it might be worth trying to reach out and initiate a discussion. Like, hey, how did you like the triple brewed IPA? That's personally, that's one of my favorites, and I get that every time I come here. If you liked it that much, could you just let us know on Google how that went for you? Or maybe might be surprised on what kind of reviews you'll get on Google about having too many IPAs. But maybe that would be a good way to initiate that dialogue or conversation.
And then will their responses, if they are using keywords and such like that, then that will generate a higher...
Yes, it will play into your SEO. Yeah.
So it's definitely worth taking the time or just
Absolutely.
throwing out a semi-personalized feeler to get them to...
Right. So if you're a brewery in Pittsburgh, you respond to that review. Make sure you drop in there. We're a new brewery in Pittsburgh. Boom. There you go. There's your keyword, and continue on with the review. Just kind of subtly work it in there. Yeah, no problem. Anybody else? Okay. Well, if no one has any other questions, then that concludes my presentation. And if you think of something on your way out or on your way downstairs, I will be over at the Higher Images booth. When you walk in and make a right, we'll be right there in the corner. So, no problem. Thank you.